Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I really appreciate your joining me in these video casts that we're having on ESL lessons so you can improve your English grammar, and we'll be doing vocabulary and dialogues, all kinds of conversations, all kinds of things having to do with improving your English, no matter whatever your first language is, or even if your first language is in English, you can still learn hopefully some little bit more about the English language. So today, in continuing on with our verb tense lessons, we're going to be talking about the simple past tense. Now, the past tense could be something that takes place yesterday, or last week, last month. We can use the simple past tense to talk about things we did in the past. It could be a year ago, it could be 10 years ago, anything that's already taken place. In this activity, we're going to match the verbs with their past simple forms. So we have one column that has the verb go, talk, do, like, give, visit, drink, walk. Some of these are regular verbs and some of these are irregular verbs. Okay, so go is in past tense, isn't it? So if I said, I frequently go to the gym during the week, and then I'm going to make this past tense. The past tense is going to be, which of these? Over on this side we've got talked, didn't like, went, gave, didn't drink, didn't do, didn't walk, and visited. You'll see that there's a lot of negative forms in this activity, a lot of the negative forms. So with go, we just, I go, last week, and we're going to match it up to the verb went. Last week, I went to the gym 3 times. Go, went. This is an irregular verb. We don't form the past tense by just adding ed. Went. Okay? Now the next one is talk. I talk on the phone sometimes. Last month, this is a regular verb, isn't it? So we're just going to add ed to it. Talk. And we're going to make it to talked. Last month I talked on the phone quite a bit. Okay, the next one is do. And if we were just going to make this just regular past tense, we say do, did. I do homework. I did homework. Okay, do. But since it's negative, there's a negative here. We're going to match it down here to didn't do. I didn't do all the chores that I had set up for myself. Didn't do. Did not do. In the contraction form, didn't do. Do, did not do, or didn't do. Okay. The next one is like. Remember, when it's in the negative, we don't add the d onto it. If it was just regular and it wasn't a negative, I like something, I liked it last year too. Okay? Like, we're going to go over here and match it up to didn't like. Didn't like. Okay? The next one, another irregular verb. I give lots of lessons. Last week I gave. Give, gave. All right, an irregular verb. I gave a lot of lessons. Give and gave. The next one is visit. And we're just going to it's a regular verb, and it's not in the negative. There's one up here that's not negative that connects with this, and we're just going to add ed to this one. I sometimes visit patients at the hospital. Last week I visited my relative. Visit and adding ed, make it visited. He visited, she visited. Some friends visited our family. Adding an ed, making it past tense. Okay? The next one is drink. And if we were just going to make this, if it wasn't in the negative, we just make it drank. I like to drink iced tea in this hot weather. Last week I drank a lot of iced tea. Okay, but since it's in the negative, drink is going to become didn't drink. We don't say didn't drank. We don't change that verb over. We keep the verb the way it already is, okay? We don't change it. We don't make it a past tense looking verb if it's in the negative. We just say didn't drink. Okay, and the last one, walk. If we were just going to make this, if it wasn't in the negative, we'd just say walk. I like to walk in the park. Yesterday I walked in the park. I walked, adding an ed. The sound is like a T sound. Walk, walked. But since there's a negative up there for it, walk and didn't. Okay, continuing on. Fill in the blanks with simple past tense, regular and irregular verbs. First one is, my uncle blank visit us last week. So it's a past tense action, is it not? So all we're going to do with this one is just add an ed and make it visited. My uncle visited us last week. The second one, he blank buy a TV yesterday. It's a past tense action, is it not? And the past tense of this irregular verb, buy, does anybody know what that is? I'm sure many of you do. It's bought. He bought a TV yesterday. Okay, the next one, we, and the verb is study hard for the test and blank pass with flying colors. That flying colors, remember, if those of you that might have seen my video on idioms, that could qualify with flying colors means you passed, with a very high grade. You did extremely well, passing with flying colors. So that's an example of an idiom right there. Now we're going to, if this verb ends in a Y, what we're going to do is we're going to change that Y to an I and add ed. So the spelling is, we studied studied, hard for the test, and the verb is pass. We're just going to add an ed to that one. Passed with flying colors. Now this next one could be a little tricky. We talked about if it's negative, how you don't change the verb form. The same applies if it's a question. Now this next one's in a question form. The first part's in a question form, and then there's going to be an answer here. There's going to be an answer. So, blank, you finish your homework. We are not going to make this verb past tense, the same as with negative, where you keep it as it is. You don't change the form. With a question mark, also you don't change the form. So we don't say finished in a question. Okay. So it's going to be in past tense. We're going to say did you. We're not going to change the form here. Did you finish your homework? Answer, no, I did not or didn't. Did you finish your homework? No, I didn't. Everyone following how this works out, okay? And the next one. The postman, blank, deliver the letters. And this is going to be an easy one. It's a regular. We're just going to add ed to this. The postman delivered the letters. Delivered. The next one, she, blank, know, K-N-O-W, a lot of people at the party. She, that's an irregular verb. She, and the past tense of know is knew. She knew a lot of people at the party. The next past tense, Risa, blank, see many sights on her trip. Risa, so we're going to, this is an irregular verb, see, and to make it past tense, we make it Risa saw many sights on her trip. Saw. See, past tense, saw. See, saw. All right. Monica, blank, not study for the exam, and she failed. Monica did not study. Remember, since it's a negative, we're not going to change the form of the verb study. Did not study for the exam, and she and this is a regular verb, fail, if we just added ed. Monica did not study for the exam, and she failed. Blank, you, blank, invite them to your house last week. Question, it's a question. So we're going to put, did you, we're not going to change the form of the verb since it's a question, just like if it's a negative. Did you we don't say invited. Did you invite them to your house last week? Did you invite them to your house last week? The next sentence. The telephone, blank, ring as she was watching TV. So this is a simple one. It's an irregular, and this is the past tense of ring is rang. The telephone rang as she was watching TV. Next sentence. She, blank, pay off her cell phone bill a month early. She, pay, irregular verb, pay, and the past tense form is paid. She paid off her cell phone bill a month early. And the last one, the very last one for today actually, blank, and this is, we've got another question, blank, she, blank, run in the track meet. Question. So it's going to be, did she, now the past tense of run is ran, but since it's a question, we're not going to change the form. So it's did she run in the track meet? Risa saw many sights on her trip. Monica did not study for the exam and she failed. Did you invite them to your house last week? The telephone rang as she was watching TV. She paid off her cell phone bill a month early. And did she run in the track meet? Now our next one, continuing on with this verb tense, our next video is going to be in the future tense. We've had present tense and present continuous. We've had the simple past tense with regular and irregular verbs. And so our next one in a few days is going to focus on the future tense, like predictions. We're going to be using words like going to, and will, W-I-L-L, or the contracted form, which was I-L-I apostrophe L-L. So I hope you're learning from this. I really appreciate your being with me today and throughout all these videos. Please like and subscribe to my channel, and we'll be uploading this one soon, and we'll be seeing you again very, very soon. Thank you very much, and take care. Bye for now. Stay safe.